Serpiente! Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. It's Snowfall Season 2, Episode 5. We are halfway through this season, and it's time for another review. So yeah, it's been over a week since I watched this. The outline, the description for this episode is when Franklin needs Terry's help to clear the air with an old partner. Terry sees a business opportunity. Lucia comes to the realisation not everyone in her crew is who they seem to be, which is obviously alluding to the fact that Pedro is no lover, is a rat, which was so obvious. Oh, the way she held her gun. Anyway, we begin the episode. Gustavo, right, he obviously does his wee mystic shit here, and have you experienced trouble with Pedro or Soledad? And he's like, no. And then she's like, oh, there is a snake amongst you. Who's that going to be? Franklin is then walking down the street, and he's like, what in the hell is going on here? Because Avi has been released from jail alongside some of his crew, and it's like, right, what is going to go down here? Avi's not exactly happy. Avi's like, well, you know what, man, I'm back, and we can go back to business. And he's like, you know what, Franklin, you might have been the guy that got me thrown in jail. But then turns out that meeting that you've got scheduled is the actual real guy who got me thrown in jail. So yeah, I mean, Avi's pissed off here, but Teddy points out later on the episode, like, there's no way Avi could have got out of jail with the charges against him, and therefore he made a deal. And yeah, that appears to be the case. Why the hell would he stay in California? I just don't really understand it. He writes down the location of his new place and numbers on a TV guide, so that was interesting. Right, we then cut to the cemetery. Franklin then demands Teddy answers how he was able to get out of jail, which Teddy then tells Franklin about the probably made a deal. Franklin's in, well, you know what, that was hard to believe. His home was filled with guns and coke. It's just not looking good at this point. Teddy then offers to look into it. He's like, LAPD paychecks are peanuts compared to what they make. Which is true, because the LAPD are dirty. Franklin then brings up the fact that I'm a black man in America, and that white folks had a bad track record with people like me. So no wonder I'm paranoid. Franklin's like, you know what, fair enough. But the problem is, though, that if Franklin goes back to working with Avi will believe that Franklin's the snitch. Franklin's not happy with the answer, but Teddy's obviously Teddy in this show is the guy with the biggest IQ, honestly. Lorena, though, she's dropped off at the packaging plant. We obviously know she's dirty. Right, to wrap up what happens with this crew, with Pedro, Lucia, and Loreno, there's a wee scene there between them and Teddy's brother Matt, right? But essentially later on, Lorena, Pedro, and Lucia, they get into a shootout alongside their wee buddy. We call him Pedro. So essentially at this point, this is when she bursts into full gear here, Lorena, right? And she shoots them and basically saves the life of Lucia. And she's like, well, you know what? There's no way, with the way she straddled that gun and held that gun, that she ain't law enforcement. He's like, well, you know what? Maybe the tarot cards were true. She said there was a snake between us. She's like, no misses. Proper handling. Proper muscle memory. It looks like police training. It looks like she is law enforcement. Gustavo's like, why aren't we in jail? And then it's like, you know what? Maybe she's building up a case against us. And this then ponders the question from Ozzo. If she is a cop, then what does that make Pedro? A fucking retard. That's what makes Pedro, my friends, right? Pedro is he's not the sharpest tool in the box, but Jesus Christ here, getting absolutely played, and there's just no two ways about it. It's actually kind of funny how he's just getting fucking destroyed here. But yeah, that ended like the episode, but that's their part wrapped up. So I think there was more legs to this, them not finding it as soon. But here, maybe Snowfall doesn't want to drag things out. Who fucking knows? But Franklin was late for the deal. It's like, oh, no, that's no good there. Louis at the nightclub going over numbers with Claudia. We're happy. And then Franklin rocks up and he's like, oh, come back. She's like, no, I'm happy here. I've just been away. I was at New York there during Christmas. Well done to you, big man. Well done to you. I guess the title of the episode does come because one of the guys had his tattoo on the arm. He was like, oh, is that for my tarot cards. Maybe Alton though, he's in the kitchen, he's getting himself tea, and he hears Sissy entering the room for work, and it's like, oh, Franklin knows, brilliant, right? So these two are just back and forth with each other. So it's like, you know what? How about you get the ground beef out the freezer to thaw it, and we'll have dinner together. This is just fucking weird seeing Alton and Sissy together. There was a scene earlier in the episode where Franklin confronted her at the diner, and he made a bit of a scene. I mean, I understand why he made a bit of a scene, but I'll tell you what, there's another thing I don't really understand for the life of me, folks, right? Sissy. Very, very fucking ugly. She is an ugly woman. Ah, man. Looks like Barack Obama. No, Barack Obama. What do you call her? Michelle Obama. Just an ugly, ugly bastard, right? Franklin and Teddy then go to the hotel to see Avi. Avi then pulls Teddy aside. He's like, right, Franklin can fuck off. How about we deal guns? And Teddy basically calls Avi's bluff here. He's like, you've made a deal, but you know what? I'll make... we'll do this gun deal. Teddy then tells Franklin, you know what? It's time to leave. Franklin's like, no, me and Avi good. And then Avi's like, you know what? Fuck you, Franklin. Our ties are severed. The deal is done. I'll be dropping the name Reed Thompson. Well, you see how that goes. Right, Franklin then returns home. You get Franklin and Jerome in the middle of a poker game, sorry. He's like, oh, that Reed Thompson guy, he knows, he's got a lot of power, man. Connections, police officers on the take. And Franklin's like, oh, I didn't think the LAPD were that dirty. Kevin and Jay then returned, got injuries on, and they got beat up by a couple of Mexicans. Franklin's like, you know what? No more fucking barrio manhunt. You've had enough time, Kevin, to deal with this. So yeah, this deal is over. And that's pretty much the episode. I mean, it was your bog standard Snowfall episode. I think season 2's been better than season 1, but I'm not going to sit here, guys, and pretend that like this show is absolutely blowing me away. But here, I've heard from a few people this is their favourite show, and I mean, everyone's got preferences, right? Yada yada yada. But I don't see how people can watch Snowfall. I mean, here I'm 15 episodes in, right? Maybe I'll change my opinion, but I don't see how anybody could watch like a whole host of like the big TV shows and then look at this show and say this is their favourite. But yeah, that's why we're all humans, man. We've all got different opinions and all that good stuff. But I just look at this show so far. We're 15 episodes in, and I think a key problem for me is that none of the characters are truly good enough to carry this show into future seasons to me to care. I don't overly care. Like, who could die for me to care? And you know Franklin ain't going anywhere. I mean, I don't mind Jerome, but I don't really care for him. I like Teddy, but it's like Avi disappeared for a few episodes and the show didn't suffer. Anyway, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Till next time. Peace.